Hi, I'm Angie,
How you guys doing? I'm Larix.
and we are both coordinators with Citizens Crime Watch, and we are going to be talking about Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month.
Well, yeah, so it's gonna be the main topic for February. We're just gonna go into teen dating violence. Another word for it is dating violence. We're gonna dive into the what it is, the why, how to prevent it, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, let's get started.
Teen dating violence. It's February. You got Valentine's Day coming up, so this month we're obviously gonna highlight Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. What is teen dating violence?
Yeah, so let's get into a basic definition of it. Teen dating violence ranges from any person 12 to 18 years old, and it includes physical, psychological, sexual abuse, harassment, and stalking. So that's kind of your general definition.
Right. You said 12 to 18, but I'm sure it could probably range a little more than that. I mean, you're going from high school to college. You see kids now 19, 20, so.
It does. Your main demographic of teen dating violence is actually from 16 to 24 years old. So we're even going into young adult, right? College.
So, yeah. So, let's just say, although it's teen dating violence, it does stretch out to just regular dating violence if we exclude the teen word on it.
Yeah.
There's different types of teen dating violence. We have physical. Under that umbrella, you have, it could be as simple as someone holding your arm really tight because they don't like something you said, to pushing you against the wall, to making you do a sexual act you don't like. That's under the sexual umbrella. Even rape, it can go as far as rape.
Exactly. Yeah, I think something that's not talked about enough to teens, right? A little bit younger is about consent, right? You're getting into these relationships at a young age, and your partner might want to engage in some sort of sexual activity, and we don't really talk about consent enough. If you say no and your partner respects you, that's one thing. But if you say no and your partner doesn't respect you, that starts to fall under the scope of abuse.
And it is, I will say, it's talked about more than it used to be, because when I was in middle school and high school and you had sex education, and some schools, they don't even have that as a class alone. They'll just go into what it is, the disease is, how to do it, but they didn't talk much about consent. And now it's talked about a little more, but it's obviously something that you do want to emphasize. You are allowed to say no, and if you don't feel like you can say no, that's a big problem.
You're right. And I think that even talking about some of these statistics, we also have 1 in 3 teens admitting to being in an unhealthy relationship. And that's a pretty alarming number. Like, if you have 3 people in here, one of us is bound to maybe be in an unhealthy relationship.
It's definitely a big number. And I want to go into, you said 1 in 3 people are in an unhealthy relationship. What exactly is an unhealthy relationship? What are those unhealthy signs?
Yeah, so unhealthy could be defined as somebody who is forcing you to share their location with you, right? Somebody wanting to know where you are at all times. Somebody who is forcing you to call them at every second to update them about your whereabouts. Unhealthy could be as far as, I don't want you wearing this. You look too good in it. I don't want people looking at you. I don't want you bringing attention to others. So there's so many different areas of what unhealthy could be defined as, and those are just a few.
Yeah, no, there's many red flags. Being in high school, I saw this one couple. They went to school every day. He would come. If she was wearing anything that showed her arms, he would bring a jacket and put it on over her. And you could tell she was uncomfortable. The girl was uncomfortable. She did not want to wear this. She wanted to show it. So there's many red flags out there. It could be as simple as, hey, I don't want you to wearing that. It's not that I don't think you look good in it, but I don't want to pick a fight with another guy in case he sees you wearing that. That can be unhealthy. And obviously, when you're in the middle, when you're beginning a relationship, I'm sorry, not in the middle. When you're beginning a relationship, you're going to have that obsessiveness. You're going to have that, you're going to be into each other. You're both going to be all lovey-dovey. But there's a point in a relationship where it can change. And if you start feeling uncomfortable and you feel like you're being followed every second of the day, or they need to know every second where you are, like you said, it can be uncomfortable, and that's considered dating violence.
Exactly. And like you said, in the beginning of a relationship, I think that both people usually start off on the same page, where they want to be together all the time. They want to share their locations with each other. They want to do all these things, but it does become abuse when you start to feel uncomfortable, right? So if one partner isn't on the same page as the other, it's important that that's expressed. Because if you're not condoning somebody having your location, or if you're not condoning something that they're communicating to you, it's important that that's talked about, or else it starts to become abusive and you just get into a deeper and deeper pit.
Another form, which, you hear the word stalking, you think it's a stranger. It's not always necessarily a stranger. You can be stalked by your loved one. As we were just talking about, if you feel like you're at a fear or you don't feel comfortable and some you have that unwanted repeated attention, that's considered stalking.
Exactly. And I think that's something that to me it is insane, but it happens a lot, is that sometimes people will even try to make stalking look like something that's cute, right? So you have a partner who, obviously you both are old enough to drive. You have a partner who is calling you. You might not be answering because either you're at work or you're busy doing something at home. They'll go as far as driving to check if your car is in the lot, and they'll mask it as, oh, I was just worried, or oh, I you didn't pick up my call, so I was just afraid. But that can be considered stalking to some degree. And so I think that it is important that we understand that, again, if you and your partner are on the same page and you guys have healthy communication, that's one thing. But when one partner tries to use something as another, right? So they're stalking you, but they're masking it and making it seem like, no, babe, I was just worried about you. That is when it can become abusive.
Yeah, and obviously these features are made for a reason. Find my iPhone, the Snapchat map. That's great, you get me? But there's a line. You have to be comfortable. If you're comfortable sharing your location, that's fine by all means. Share with your parents, share with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your brother and siblings. But when it's being used against you and or it's forced upon you and saying, I need your location so I know where you're at all times, that's where you draw the line and say, okay, something isn't right here. I'm not comfortable with you knowing where I am at all kinds of day. Because then what if you take a different route? There's traffic or you have to do something and you forgot to mention it. They're going to be calling you and tell you, hey, why are you taking this route? Where are you going? That's going to make you feel uncomfortable.
Exactly. And I think that what can also qualify us to even speak about a topic like this is because we've been through stuff like that in past relationships. And I can speak from personal experience where I was in a relationship where I was actually experiencing manipulation. And what is manipulation? It's action taken by others to control you. So I was manipulated, and in the beginning, it sounded very sweet, right? So in the beginning, it was like, oh, let's share our locations with each other because just in case an emergency happens, right? But then that was twisted and used against me, where my ex-partner would start looking at my location and saying, why didn't you call me when you left your house? Or why didn't you update me on your whereabouts? I was home and I didn't even know. And even in the sense of the clothing I was wearing, right? I used to work at a gym, and the clothing I was wearing, at first he was like, I'm not comfortable with you wearing these leggings, or I'm not comfortable with you wearing that kind of shirt. But then it escalated to, I'm not comfortable with you working at this job. And I eventually left.
No, definitely. There's a lot of red flags that are brought up when it comes to your partner seeing what you wear, seeing what you do. Another thing, we're talking into manipulation. There's the bad manipulation you typically see. I did it because I did it because I love you. It's the ones that aren't common. The one you don't think is teen dating violence. I do it because I love you. It's for your own safety. I don't want to pick a fight with someone else. That's a form and it's masked. A lot of times your partner will try to make an excuse about it.
It is. And even, obviously, like we talked about, the demographic also goes up to 24 years old. So we're not only talking about middle school, high school, we're even going into the college level, right? So I think that we have this misconception that the older you get, sometimes the people become more mature, right? And although that is true to a certain level, you can still be abused and go through dating violence, because it's not just teen dating violence, it's dating violence as well. You can go through that in college, right, where you're under the influence, right, and you have social pressure. You have a whole bunch of pressure in college from friends, from frats, from sororities, from all these different places. And so you can have partners that can stalk you on campus. You can have partners that are sexually abusing you at your dorms or on campus. So it's important that we find a trusted community, or we have friends or trusted adults around us that we can talk to about these things in case we're experiencing some type of abuse.
And then you mentioned social pressure in college. A big thing is social media. Everyone has it. Everyone has TikTok. Everyone has Instagram now. And then you see all these cute couples, and those are the ones that sometimes you need to think about, is everything okay? Because you look right now, I'm not going to mention any names or specific cases. In recent news, you have the perfect couple. They're traveling across the country, or they looked super fine on social media. They're happy. And then you have a month later, they killed their spouse, they killed their husband, they killed their wife, and you wouldn't be able to tell based off their social media.
It's true. And a lot of times it's from domestic violence, right? It's from physical abuse, and then it spans out to the emotional, the psychological, and all that stuff. So it's important that parents are having these conversations with their kids at home, or friends are talking about this to each other. Because if you get your couple goals, or you feel this sense of, I want a relationship just like that off of social media, you can get yourself into a deep hole, because we don't know what happens behind the screen. We don't know what happens off the screen. We just know what we're seeing. And social media, I'm going to lay it out on the table, is fake. Instagram is fake. TikTok is fake. A lot of the things that you see on there are not real, but it's reality for kids. It's reality for teens. So it's important that we're having these conversations with them.
You definitely want to make them feel comfortable to have that conversation too. You are able to stop teen dating violence before it starts. When they're going to be exposed to social media, to Instagram, TikTok, it's unavoidable. If you don't allow it at home, they're going to see it at school. If you don't allow it, they don't allow it at school, they're going to see it at home. They're going to find a way to get on social media. Have that conversation with your daughter, with your student, with your son about social media, about relationships. You're going to see this. If they get into an argument, let them know what's a healthy way to talk about an argument. If you don't feel comfortable about something, how to tackle those situations.
Exactly. And when I found myself in a manipulative relationship and I was going through dating violence myself, I didn't know how to talk to my mom about it. I was afraid. So I actually opened up to my best friend about it. She was the first person to tell me that behavior isn't normal. What you're going through isn't normal, and there's a way out. And so, if there's a teen that happens to be listening to this, and, of course, we would encourage you to speak to any trusted adult, whether it's a parent, a teacher, a counselor. But if you also confide in a friend, you can open up to that friend and make sure that that friend can give you advice, right? Good guidance, where they can tell you exactly what my friend told me. This is not normal behavior. You can find a way out of this. I can help you through this. Because I heard those words for the first time, it impacted me so much that I felt hope for the first time. I actually can leave this relationship, and there's actually a light at the end of the tunnel. So it's important that you find somebody who you can trust and talk to about it.
And if you want to be that person, that you want someone to trust you in, and you don't know how to, it's okay to ask questions. Go online. There's plenty of resources. There's a hotline you can call. It's little things. You don't have to be the hero. You can invite them out to lunch. You can say, hey, let's go to Starbucks, because everyone drinks Starbucks now. So, hey, let's go grab Starbucks. Let's go eat lunch at Panera or something. Give them that comfortable feeling. Let them have that open stage, that stage for you to talk and be like, hey, is everything okay? Is there anything you want to talk about? Is everything good? Just making them feel welcome, it's going to break down that wall little by little, because when you're in an abusive or unhealthy relationship, you're going to build up a wall. Oftentimes, more than likely or not, you're going to build up a wall. And so when you feel like you can let your guard down and talk to someone that you're comfortable with, that's going to be the difference maker.
And that's great. I really like how you said that we're not supposed to be the hero or the fixer in this situation. And it's true. I think I have the kind of personality where when I was in high school and my friends were going through something, I wanted to be the therapist that would drop everything and try to fix the situation for them and try to find out solutions, to the point where, I was desperate to just fix their problem for them. And then in effect, that would affect me emotionally, right? So it doesn't only affect your friends, it affects you. So instead of being the fixer or the healer in this situation, what you can do is just be a listener, right? Offer yourself and say, just like you had said, you want to grab a bite. Tell me how your relationship's going. How's everything going? You don't need to find a solution for them, right? Everybody can make choices in life. But what you can do is just offer a listening ear, be somebody that they can open up to and be comfortable, and not judge anybody either, right? There's no room for shaming people and judging people for finding themselves in an abusive relationship. We should just always offer people just a listening ear and telling them there's a way out. You're not stuck in this and you're not alone.
And I just want to make a quick point. This does not apply only to females. Many men go through this, and the problem is, all the statistics you're going to see, they're all going to tell you female go through it more than men. That may be the case. I'm not saying it's not, but many men won't even report it. Men, they are known as, boys and males are known as the ones, the alpha. They're the ones that are tough, that, if someone pushes you, oh well, so be it, you push them back. and they won't feel comfortable reporting it. So if you are a male or a boy and you feel like you can't talk about it, you are 100% able to talk about it.
Yes, there's a safe place, a safe platform for all people to share about their experiences and what they're going through. And so if you happen to be experiencing teen dating violence or dating violence in general yourself, or you happen to know somebody, there's plenty of hotlines that can be reached. There's plenty of people that you can find and talk to if you know somebody, a trusted teacher, counselor, friend, adult, parent, anybody, or if you're even passionate about advocating, right? If you've been through something yourself, or you just know somebody who's been through something and you want to advocate for them, there's websites that you can find where you can advocate, share stories, and stand up for those who feel like they have no voice, or stand up for those who feel like they're not heard. There's plenty of platforms and outlets that we can reach and use in order to spread Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, talk about it more, and potentially save people's lives through just having these open conversations. Again, we're not being the hero. We're not trying to offer therapy or offer these different solutions, but you can be saving a life by just offering a listening ear and letting them know that they're not alone.
And I love it. You know, your main point there was there are options.
Yeah.
Whether you're the one going through it or whether you're witnessing it, there's options. Mm-hmm. You can there's resources, and you can talk to someone, or you can ask someone how they feel about it, or ask, hey, I know someone's going through this, how they feel about it. There's options. There's options for everyone.
Exactly.
All right, so I think we covered everything. Guys, if you know someone that's going through this, or you are going yourself through this, there are options. There's a hotline. We're going to put it down in the description, and links as well.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed having this conversation about Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and I look forward to doing this annually, and just providing more resources throughout the years, and I look forward to hearing testimonies about people who benefited from this podcast and this conversation.
Definitely a conversation that needs to be had more often.
Yeah.
Guys, if you guys have any questions for us, please comment. Anything else you guys want us to cover, please let us know. You guys could subscribe to the page, guys. We post these every month. We cover different topics from bullying to stalking to teen dating violence, all kinds of sorts. If you guys feel like there's a topic that you'd like to hear about, let us know.
Yeah, and thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, guys.